Before we begin, I should explain how this video fits into the larger series. I originally created one complete Hindi deep dive covering the language's history, sound system, sentence structure, verbs, nouns, postpositions, and patterns of agreement. Because the complete presentation is quite long, I am also dividing it into shorter, focused videos. This will make it easier to find a particular topic, study it separately, and return to it later for review. You can therefore choose the format that works best for you. You may follow the shorter videos one part at a time, or watch the entire presentation as one continuous master video. This chapter is part 1, and it explores where Hindi comes from its ancient linguistic ancestry to the historical and cultural developments that produced modern standard Hindi. The complete Hindi deep dive is already available, and you will find a link to it in the description. When we hear the word Hindi, it is tempting to imagine one language with a single straight history. But Hindi is better understood as the newest visible stage of a long process. Its deepest ancestry reaches back through Indo-Aryan languages of India, while the language we recognize today developed much later in North India through everyday speech, literature, political change, and contact with Persian, Arabic, Turkic, and eventually English. In this first part, I want to trace that story without getting lost in technical detail. First, let's place Hindi on the linguistic family tree. Hindi is Indo-European, so at the very distant level, it is related to languages such as English, Greek, Russian, and Spanish. More specifically, it belongs to Indo-Iranian and then to the Indo-Aryan branch. Within modern Indo-Aryan, Standard Hindi is usually grouped in the central zone. This is also where my knowledge of Nepali becomes useful. Nepali and Hindi share Indo-Aryan ancestry, so many patterns and words feel familiar, but neither language came from the other. They are cousins whose histories follow different paths. The familiar shorthand is Sanskrit, then Prakrit, then Apabhramsa, and finally Hindi. This is useful, but it can be also misleading if it sounds like 4 clean boxes. The real process was gradual and involved many regional forms. Old Indo-Aryan includes Vedic and classical Sanskrit, while Indo-Aryan includes the various Prakrits, the language people used across different regions and social settings, and later varieties grouped under the term Apabhramsa. From around the end of the first millennium, new Indo-Aryan languages increasingly emerge in recognizable forms. Modern Hindi is one result of that broad evolution, not simply Sanskrit with its grammar simplified. There are really 2 different Sanskrit connections. The first is genealogical. Spoken Indo-Aryan developed over time from earlier Indo-Aryan forms. The second is later and deliberate. As modern standard Hindi was formalized, writers and institutions often turn to Sanskrit for vocabulary, particularly in formal, administrative, educational, and scientific contexts. That is why some Hindi words are inherited through continuous sound change, while others are learned Sanskrit borrowings. The very formal word matarbhasha means mother tongue, is a good example of the Sanskritized register. The more immediate base of modern standard Hindi is associated with Kariboli, the speech of Delhi and the surrounding region. As Delhi became a major political and cultural center, this form of speech gained influence beyond its original locality.
A broader communicative language developed around it and came to be known by several names at different times, including Hindavi, Hindi, Dehlavi, Rektha, and later Hindustani. These labels did not always mean exactly the same thing, and we should be cautious about forcing modern language boundaries onto earlier centuries. North India was never linguistically isolated. Under the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire, Persian had enormous prestige in administration and high culture. Persian also carried many Arabic words, and Turkic-speaking ruling groups also contributed to the contact environment. The key point is that the basic grammar remained Indo-Aryan, while what expanded dramatically was the vocabulary and the range of styles. Later, British rule and modern technology brought English words. Many of these borrowings are so ordinary that speakers do not experience them as foreign. Kitab in Darwaza are simply everyday words. This brings us to the relationship between Hindi and Urdu. At the everyday conversational level, they share so much grammar and basic vocabulary that speakers can communicate without difficulty. The differences become more visible in writing and highly formal vocabulary. Standard Hindi uses Devanagari and tends to draw formal terms from Sanskrit. Standard Urdu uses the Perso-Arabic Nastaliq script and draws more heavily on Persian and Arabic at the formal end. It is therefore reasonable to speak of a shared Hindustani base, while also recognizing Hindi and Urdu as distinct standardized languages with their own literary identities. The Hindi we learn today is not merely a natural dialect that automatically became standard, like all standard languages. It was selected and shaped through printing, schooling, literature, administration, and politics. During the 19th century, Hindi and Urdu became increasingly differentiated as formal standards. In 1900, Devanagari received official recognition alongside the Perso-Arabic script in the United Provinces. Then in 1950, the Constitution of India designated Hindi in Devanagari as the official language of the Union. A crucial correction: India does not have one constitutionally declared national language. Hindi is an official language of the Union. English continues to be used for union purposes, and India recognizes a much wider multilingual reality. So Hindi has both a very old ancestry and a comparatively modern standardized form. Its structure belongs to the Indo-Aryan tradition. Its immediate standard base is closely connected with the Delhi region variety known as Kariboli, with the broader history of Hindustani. Its vocabulary reflects centuries of cultural contact, and its present form was shaped by modern institutions and language politics. In the next part, we can look at where Hindi is actually spoken and how many people speak it, and why the label Hindi speaker can hide enormous regional diversity.
That brings us to the end of part 1, where Hindi comes from. In the next short video, we will look at Hindi as it exists today. We will examine where it is spoken, how many people speak it, and why the label Hindi can refer to more linguistic diversity than the statistics initially suggest. Part 2 will be released soon as the next focus chapter in this series. However, you do not have to wait to continue. The complete Hindi deep dive from the historical origins of the language through its sound system, sentence structure, verbs, nouns, and grammar, is already available as one continuous master video. You will find the link to the full deep dive in the description. You can watch the complete presentation now or return for each shorter chapter as it is released.